I am Mark Choppa. I am here with Meet the Pressers. I have recently been a target of the ATF, but now the ATF is in my sights.
Meet the Pressers with Matt Mallory and Clint Necro. Brought to you by Public Safety and Education and the Trigger Pressers Union.
Meet the Pressers is brought to you by Mantis. Mantis X helps shooters suck less. Next Level Training, makers of CERT training products. Henry Repeating Arms, made in America or not made at all. XS Sights, fast sights in any light. Meet the Pressers is also brought to you by these fine companies, shows, organizations, and our Patreon members. Thank you.
So Matt Mallory here with Meet the Pressers. We're at 2025 SHOT Show in the fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. And I've got Mark Choppa. We're going to have a nice conversation here and talk about the ATF and we call it the Alphabet Agency, one of the Alphabet agencies, right? And see what happened, what led up to the situation, and what we're doing and what we can help do to help him get out of this government overreach, we'll say. So
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, no problem.
For bringing me on.
Tell the viewers and listeners a little bit about what your claim to fame is, what brought you into the spotlight, what you do, what's your passion.
Well, my name is Mark Manley, also known as Mark Choppa. I'm a community activist, also a 2A advocate, obviously. I'm a educator in the Baltimore City school systems. I'm boots on the ground. I coach girls football, and I'm just...
Wait, girls football?
Yeah, girls football. I'm a coach. Yeah.
I didn't girls football.
It's flag. It is flag football. It is flag football.
But I was in the Army. Flag football ain't really like.
Yeah, no, it's rough. It's rough. It can get rough. But yeah, no, I just move in my purpose, and I'm just here for the people.
Okay. Yeah. So you have your own FFL?
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dare deal
Trust me, I know.
those people. You know what I mean?
I got a Type 7 Class 2. I just had my first inspection after 6
years. You got to deal with the ATF. I mean, you got to rub...
The local IOI is my student.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, her mother and her father, her boyfriend, her boyfriend's father, all my students. So.
Nice. I got you.
Yeah, because you hear the horror stories about somebody doesn't, dot an I or cross a T, and they shut them down, especially under the Biden administration, how aggressive they were to shut down FFLs as much as possible. And I was a little nervous going into the inspection, knowing that she'd do the right thing and use discretion. Personally myself, I'm a part-time police officer, and I run a town as a chief, and I'm road patrol for another village. Yeah. I understand discretion and understanding people. There's intent with people, but you never know when you're dealing with the government or somebody that just wants to get ahead in their job. Yeah. It might be a big fish to look, if I get this guy, it's going to put my name in lights. Yeah,
for sure. Well, this definitely got their name in lights, but it's just not the way they expect it.
For sure.
Because
they're on the wrong side of the lights.
They assumed that they would find me with illegal machine guns. They assumed they would find me with illegal everything. I mean,
so you're Second Amendment advocate. Mm-hmm. So you have a collection, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
And they probably inventoried that, and they know every crevice of every gun you have, every collection of your collection. So what? I'm sure you can't speak to some of it because it's still active, but so whatever you can. Prior to that, do you have any knowledge on what brought you into their spotlight? Is it just social media? And
yeah,
like,
look
at this guy?
It started off, they did explain to me that I was an investigation, and of course I'm on social media with machine guns. I'm on social media with some high power firearms. Obviously I am a 2A advocate, and I do have access to companies with that kind of weaponry.
Right.
So recently there was a tip, that I had machine guns and I was a felon in possession of a firearm. That was on the warrant. I'm just going off what is black and white.
Right. But pause on that. With that, you can't be a felon and be a school teacher, can you?
Nope, absolutely not.
Ding, ding, ding. Right
yeah.
there. That was a clue into me that's false.
Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously that was a bunch of horse poo.
You can swear.
Yeah, I can swear.
You can swear.
That was horse shit.
Yeah,
Okay?
absolutely.
Yeah. So, that was on the warrant, and also firearm trafficking, which I'm a collector. I'm not a seller. Yeah, I'm not a trafficker. Yeah.
Hey, you don't sell them. Just like
Yeah,
you sell a gun.
I literally buy guns, for my collection, to build my collection.
Asking my wife to sell a purse or shoes.
Yeah, it made no sense to me at all. The warrant made no sense to me. I said, this can't be me. I said, for one, I'm not a felon. Never been convicted of a felony.
Right.
For two, when do I have time to be this outlaw?
Mm-hmm.
When I'm in the school system, from me and my wife is up at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So I don't get home till 7 o'clock.
Doing good things, trying to educate the future of our society.
Yeah. So, and on top of that, I'm a mentor in the community. I host community events, teaching gun safety, teaching survival skills for inner city kids.
Wow.
Because they don't get that. Right. Most of them never been hunting. Most of them never been fishing. Most of them don't know how to properly handle a firearm.
Yeah. Sideways.
Yeah. So I mean, this is something that I wanted to implement in their childhood.
Absolutely.
And in the family's household as well, because I understand how important it is, because everything I've gone through growing up, not knowing these things, not being educated, not having someone to just explain to me the right way to go about things.
We always try to be a better person than our parents were, and be a better productive person in society.
Yeah.
So 2 tips, maybe more, who knows, right? They're going to be tight on what they tell you, for sure. They get a warrant, so obviously they think it's credible enough. They go to a judge. Judge says, "Yep," signs off on the warrant.
Yeah.
They show up at your house middle of the night.
About 5, I would say about 5 a.m.
5 a.m. So middle in the morning.
Yeah.
Probably been watching you to see that you're getting up at 6 before you leave, so they want to hit you before, so that you're not up and knowing they're coming. Yeah. Try to get that advantage. You got that nasty machine gun. You could fight back.
Yeah.
And so they hit you at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Point guns at your kids.
Yep.
'Cause I remember seeing that in the article, or I think the video you posted I watched.
Flashbang my wife and my son.
Wow.
She was drinking her coffee. Mm-hmm. She called my name, Mark. Somebody's outside our house. So immediately I'm ready to defend. I'm thinking there's someone going to break in.
Yeah.
There's a bad guy outside. So when I check the window, I see agents surrounding the home. So I immediately put my firearm down.
Yeah.
Smart. I put that down, and I went to go get the kids. I said, "Hey, kids, we got the police at our door.
Yep.
So y'all just get ready. Come. We going to come out." I just wanted them to be aware and to be on point. Because I know how ugly things can go real fast.
Yep.
So
in law enforcement too, just so people know, and this is good for everybody. It's called especially if they think there's a gun, or even if it's gun related, it's called the furtive movement. So if you're making any movement consistent with going for a gun, officers can shoot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And being law enforcement, I want to go into my family too.
I understand that.
And that would be the worst thing I'd ever want to mistake, is see somebody reaching for something I think is a gun and I shoot them. I'd be justified in doing that.
Yeah.
But that would suck for everybody involved.
Yeah, it would suck for everybody.
So I mean, that was absolutely smart on your part. Traffic stops, I'll tell people that, if I'm pulling you over and I tell you to, drop, or for instance, I show up and you got a gun in your hands and I say, drop the gun. People are like, well, I'm going to sit it down. It's $1,000 Kimber. I'm like, well, first off, don't buy a Kimber.
Yeah.
But,
I like Kimbers.
Yeah.
I wouldn't carry it though. I like them for a collection. I will say
they are
that.
pretty.
Yeah, they're pretty.
That's
as far as you can go.
Pretty paperweight. Anyway, so you got that gun out there. Officer tells you to drop the gun. Drop the gun. They're like, but I don't want to drop it. It could go off. I'm like, if you don't drop it, the cop will shoot you.
Yeah.
So which one's worse, right? The gun might go off, or the cop will shoot you. Yeah. Drop the gun, because immediately out of your hands, you're not a threat. So that's excellent that you thought of that, and I think that a lot of people can learn from that. Cops giving you commands, follow the commands. Even if it's not justified, as in this case with you, let's figure that out in the court.
Yep,
right.
That was my whole process.
Genius, smart.
I said let's. First of all, I have young children. I have daughters. I have 17-year-old and a 13-year-old that lives right in my household, and
you got a 9-year-old at home. So
yeah. So it was my first instinct was, let me make sure
They're good.
they're understand, they follow my lead. Your hands up, we're coming out and we're compliant.
Right.
We don't want any to make any sudden movements. We don't want them to get anxious.
Something that I just thought of now, and I didn't think of this until you just said that. I don't do this all the time, but I think I might add this to my PowerPoints for my classes. I'll tell, every once in a while, I'll tell students in my class, have a safe word, a family safe word.
Yeah.
So if we're in public, and we have one for our families, this is why I mention this every once in a while, have a safe word where if something's going down, like if we're in a restaurant and somebody comes in with a ski mask on and a shotgun, I say the safe word and then get under the table. And my wife knows we've been married 33 years. Shut up and do what I say, right? Because life's in the balance. Now, if I say in the restaurant, get under the table, she can be like, get under the table? Nah, we're going to be fighting.
Yeah.
Right? But if I say the safe word and then I say get under the table, she knows something's going down. My training's kicking in.
Yep.
Life or death.
Yeah.
Right. So, it might be valuable thing for, you did that in your own way. I like the safe word thing, and then once a year.
That idea.
Yeah.
And see, you understand, you've been in law enforcement, so you understand things can happen at the park. Things can happen anywhere.
Everywhere.
And
I say
most
for a
people,
reason or no reason, anywhere.
Yeah. Most people just don't think that far and aren't prepared for the worst. And we teach definitely preparation in my household. So
that's good.
My children did phenomenal.
Awesome.
My wife did phenomenal. She was a little discombobulated. She got hit with a flashbang, but she followed suit. She got right behind me with her hands up, and we came out, and nobody was harmed, thank God.
Good.
So
awesome. So harmed physically, but still there's emotional scars there for sure. So
yeah, I
talking about it, time will let it go by. Talking about suicide and stuff like that a lot, and people that commit suicide, some of that stuff doesn't ever leave people that have been in war and combat, but something like that's it's traumatic, and it might not, PTSD, it might come back up at a later time, but time and counseling is what I usually say can help with something.
Yeah,
like that,
we talk about things in our household, and we also I give my children space. Like if you need to go cool off, go out, go to a movie, get away, because I don't want you to feel like. I want to keep our normalcy.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, this has happened to us, and we got to talk about it, but I don't want you stuck in your room and bottling up all those emotions.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Yeah, you got to vent, let it out so that you feel fresh and clean with it.
Yeah.
All right. So they came in, they said, here's the warrant. You're like, bullshit. And
well, hold on. I want to let you know they did flashbang my son to a dozen officers because he was still in the basement. He didn't hear me.
Oh.
He has his own little apartment,
right?
In the basement. So
how old is he?
He's 15 years old.
Okay.
They bust down his door.
Wow.
Dozen officers, rifles in his face, threatened to shoot him.
Right.
He's under the blanket, like he's just shivering. He doesn't know what to say but lawyer, because that's what I taught him.
Yeah.
I taught him to comply.
Good.
And ask for a lawyer. And don't talk to nobody, no law enforcement, unless I'm president or a lawyer is president.
Smart.
So he got it the worst. They didn't take it easy on him at all. He is a young black man, and he has long hair, and he is very trained. And I'm sure they seen it on YouTube because they was asking, "Where's your son? Where's your son?" And my son is clearing houses and everything on my YouTube channel. So immediately I'm like, that's why they're looking for him. They are afraid.
Yeah.
But he is a boy. He is a basketball player.
Okay.
He's a straight A student. He goes to a top 5 school in Maryland. He's
God bless you. It's good. Sounds like you're doing
everything amazing. Right. He's amazing. Yeah.
It's it's sad to hear stuff like this. Yeah. In some sense, we all of us in society, I think we want the bad guys to be caught. Yeah. And and being in law enforcement, we don't know who the bad guy is until But people get it wrong.
Yeah, people do get it wrong.
And a thing here too, going back to those anonymous tips and such.
Yeah,
there's people that don't want to see successful people succeed, or your dog shit in my yard, so I'm going to get back at you. And they're so mentally deranged that they'll do anything, and they don't care if you die in the cause, or your family does, which is terrible. I think Brandon Williams, my local congressman, former congressman, he just lost re-election, as well as Marjorie Taylor Greene in Georgia, they both got swatting attempts last Christmas. Christmas Day.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day, somebody swatted there, so called in, hey, I heard gunfire at this address, you might want to show up.
Wow.
And local law enforcement showed up with guns out and ready.
Yeah.
And Brandon Williams, actually the sheriff, called Brandon. It's like, hey, we heard somebody's reporting gunshots.
Wow.
Brandon's like, no, everything's fine. We're like, well, we got to come by and check it out. He goes, of course.
Right.
But the ultimate goal of those people were to have the cops show up and shoot the family, Brandon, right?
Yeah.
Kill a sitting congressman.
Wow.
Right? And like, where does that go? Like, why isn't the ATF or why isn't the FBI investigating that
Yeah.
and spending resources on somebody who literally sicked the government on another government official to have them killed?
Yeah. I just feel like it should have been more due diligence on
Yeah, absolutely,
their part, you know?
absolutely. And I'm hopeful that with the new president that the ATF goes bye-bye in some of these three-letter agencies.
I would love to see that because I have noticed he's been signing his pen. I would love to see one that says disband ATF.
Yeah. I don't know if he can do it by a
swipe of his pen.
But
yeah, I don't know. There's been some pen swiping going on.
Wow. Well, what was the DEI that you just got rid of that one? The website's defunct. Like
and then I seen it was like something about there's only one gender, him and her. I mean, and then the abortion, the pro abortion.
For sure.
He's definitely busy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I really don't get into politics, but I do observe, what's going on. I have to know what's going on. Yeah,
absolutely. We live here, right?
Yeah.
So back to the case at hand, if you will. So they came in, they searched the place. Well, how long did that, at 5 a.m, how long did that take? Your day was done. You're not going anywhere, calling to work. Hey, can I call, make my one phone call?
No, I didn't even.
Couldn't even make a call?
Yeah, I was in handcuffs. And They had us outside for about a half an hour.
Well, when was it?
20 degrees outside, so it was freezing.
Yeah.
I was in my underwear and a tank top.
You had a gun concealed somewhere, right?
Who, me? No. Right.
Underwear, tank top.
Right. So that was my thing. When we're coming out, my oldest daughter, she's 17 years old. She's in a tank top and underwear. Okay. My youngest daughter's in pajamas. My wife is usually in a t-shirt and pajamas. She probably was the warmest. But we coming out, they have guns drawn on me. When they tell me to turn around.
Handcuffed?
No, I'm coming out.
This
This prior. Sorry, I'm coming out, hands up. Everyone's hands up. Mm-hmm. They got the guns on me. And then when they tell me to turn around, they're barking orders, telling me to turn around. So when I finally turn around, I see my daughter's hair. There was red dots everywhere on my daughter. So I immediately I almost snapped. I'm like, hey, you have guns on my daughter. Like I'm giving them. I'm giving them one more warning. I say, take your guns off my fucking daughters. Right?
How old is she?
Yes. 13 years old and 17 year old. Right. Take your guns off my fucking daughter. Yes. Yeah. I'm looking at her, I just see her face. Oh my God, she's devastated, Yeah. So I'm like, that was my last command. I mean, that was my last, I'm like, okay, it's great. I'm Grey Deuce. I can't just sit here and watch it.
Did they click and then?
Yeah. They was like, it's going to be okay. And then they put the guns down. I said, all right, because I'm not going to tell you again,
Right. And I'm glad that went that way.
Yeah, I know. I would have been shot. I know. I was.
But you're thinking your daughter. You're like, you're not thinking rationally in that sense.
Yeah, I wasn't.
This is traumatic.
It was so emotional for me.
Chaotic.
And they look at me as their protector. I am their protector. Right. So it was just.
I'm glad you're still here to be their protector more.
Thank you. Yeah, I think about that all the time.
For sure. So they got you outside. Everybody complied. They got you outside. You're in the cold. How long were you guys outside for?
About a half an hour.
So it's not. Terrible as far in the grand scheme of things. I mean,
no.
It sucks at all.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to put you in the back of the car so you're warm or something.
Yeah, my mother, not my mother, my wife did request that. She said, hey, can you put us somewhere warm? And they put us in the back of a SWAT truck.
So they did their search. Yeah. They didn't find weapons of mass destruction anywhere.
They didn't find anything.
Right. That was a quick search, so they, who knows what the
they swept the house.
Okay.
And then they brought us back inside in the living room.
Okay.
So we did get back inside. I was still handcuffed, and my son was handcuffed, and my oldest daughter was handcuffed. So that's when they gave me the warrant, and I'm reading the warrant. I said, you got the wrong guy. Immediately, I took one look at it. I said, you got the wrong guy. Said for one, you're not. It said firearm trafficking, machine guns. It even said drug trafficking on there. I said, yeah. I said you won't find any of that in this home. You know, and I said if you done your due diligence, I told the agents this. If you done your due diligence, you will know that I get up at 6 a.m. and I'm out the door to go to work at a high school. After the high school, I am coaching girls flag football. After girls flag football, I am coming home to my family.
Right.
I say, you have the wrong guy.
Yeah.
They still proceeded their search. I say, you're not going to find anything in this home. So they all, after they finished going through everything in my home, ransacking the house.
And they destroy anything, break anything?
Absolutely. For one, the flashbangs put holes in my
carpet,
my floor, my hardware wood floor. And
holes or like marks?
Marks. Yeah, they're black. I mean, it's
coming off easily.
It ain't coming off.
Just sand it down.
Yeah. So, and also, they broke both of the doors, the glass on the back door and the front door, which is replaceable.
Yeah. But it's still time, money.
Yeah, time and money.
Frustration.
Yeah. And what happened then? Okay, they gathered upstairs. And they said, all right, they all gathered around the safe. And they said, well, we could blow your safe up or you can open it. I said, I'll open my safe.
Question for you. Was the warrant for the safe though?
I don't recall.
The warrant doesn't specifically say the judge gave him permission to get to the safe.
Yeah. I didn't have anything to hide in, and it didn't even matter. I'm that kind of. I will show you my collection. Yeah, that's good. You know, I will show you my collection.
I would imagine it had the safe on it, but but that's good.
They could have knocked on my door,
and you would have said, "Come on in, guys. Want coffee?"
Yeah,
yeah. You seem like that kind of guy.
No,
right?
No. I mean, I am. Yeah. I am. I mean, without all this would have, this could have been avoided. You know, if you definitely would have knocked on my door, showed the warrant. You would, definitely would have warned. Yeah. I would have allowed you in my home, and it would have been none of this.
Yeah, the no-knock warrants are they're traumatizing.
Yeah,
they're dangerous for everybody involved. Yeah, I'm indifferent with it because there is in law enforcement an element of surprise.
Yeah,
if they are dealing with a bad guy.
Right.
So if it was a true like drug house and cops knock on the door, cop gets shot through the door. So there is that balance. But I get that. In some sense, like. When you're heading out to work, approach and be like, okay, guys, this is what we got. We got you walking out versus middle of the night, kick your door in. Like somebody kicks my door in at 5 a.m. Yeah. I got those things. Flash grenades. I got grenades. I got full auto in my house.
Yeah.
I am licensed. I am a Type 7 Class 2 FFL. I am a police officer. It's all legal.
Yeah.
I don't kick my door in.
I don't blame you because
But yeah, nobody wants that to happen to good people. So continue. I didn't mean to.
I just felt like there could have been a better way to go about this.
For sure.
Like you said, they could have called me at a grocery store. They could have got me on my way to work.
Yeah.
Or could have pulled me over. Guns drawn on me, not my children. Right. That's where they drew the line. Yeah. That's where they drew the line for me, and that's where it's unforgivable. It's unethical.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
And
So total time there that they were from the time they kicked the door in to the time they said, well, have a good day.
It was about 2.5 hours because I'm going to be honest with you. My wife still went to work that morning.
Yeah.
She's a real trooper. It's like you just got flashbanged.
But, it's funny when I talk to people that have gone through traumatic events, sometimes you just got to get your mind off it.
Yeah.
It's like that favorite song you can't get out of your head.
No, that was her.
Baby shark, do-do-do. Baby shark. Right.
It was her routine. She said, I have to stick to my routine.
And sometimes it's easier for people to cope with things, to just be able to put their mind on something else. Yeah. It's hard. So with something like that, it's not easy to, you're just going to keep replaying. And the easiest thing I say to people is, you ever been in an argument with somebody and like it just riddles your thoughts? Like you're sitting there, out there, they say that to me. I can't believe they said that to me.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you have something 10 times worse than that, like you guys have happen.
Yeah.
And you're like, you just dwell on it. You're thinking, well, I can't believe this happened. Why did it happen? It's a denial phase in some sense, but also like trying to rationalize with how and why it happened.
Yeah.
So that makes sense that she would go to work. Some people don't get that.
She didn't. Yeah. No, I didn't go to work. I went right to work. I mean, I got online and I let the people know what just happened to me.
I'm calling in sick day.
You can't silence me. I said no.
No, that's good.
People want to know.
So there's something I created. I was the fifth person to ever interview George Zimmerman in person.
Yeah.
And I came up with a statement in the article that I wrote, that AMOLAN published back in 2019. But I made a bulleted list. It's called the 4 Horses of Your Apocalypse. Right? Criminal, civil, mental, and jury of public opinion.
Yeah.
So the criminal aspect is what they're trying to impose on you. The civil aspect, it's irrelevant pretty much in this case, I would imagine. The mental aspect is what you guys are going through with trying to deal with this mentally,
Right.
the trauma, and then the jury of public opinion is what you went right to after, like, that morning, right?
Yeah.
She went to work to get it out of her mind, which is one way to deal with it, and great. You went to work to, like, let's formulate the masses. And that jury of public opinion can be very, very beneficial.
I always say,
look,
numbers is power.
We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you getting the word out to the jury of public opinion. So. So what, where does it go from? Did they say, like, hey, sorry, we didn't find anything, or, hey, have a good day, we're done with you?
They apologized to my wife. They asked, what was the dimensions of the door to get the door fixed.
Wow.
But at this point,
I wasn't expecting that, but at least that's some reprieve, but still the mental and the that part, how do you fix that?
Yeah, I mean, I got a daughter that wakes up in the morning crying, and it's like, I know where this is coming from.
Right.
I see the signs of PTSD. I have PTSD. I've been in a justified homicide situation.
Right.
So I know what comes with it. Yeah.
Long-lasting. And kind of what I was saying earlier, time and counseling can help talking about it. I mean, this is a form, right? It's just being therapeutic to get it out and talk about it. Especially I think me being law enforcement probably helps too, because I'm thinking, I can't believe that happened to you. That sucks. I'm sorry that happened to you.
Yeah.
And I think not being in fear of law enforcement, right? I think we need to go back to the way it used to be. Our kids used to go up on the street going, hey, Mr. Officer, I'm lost. Can you bring me home to my mom? I think that's the way we need to
build the bridge. There's a gap.
Yeah, that community policing is what they call it these days, but it's just old school policing.
I follow an officer named Officer Norman, and he's like one of my favorite Instagram pages.
Cool.
He's just in the community happy. He's bringing in groceries. He's, he's playing basketball with the kids. I mean,
I'm a white guy. Can't play basketball.
No, he's a white guy.
Oh,
yeah, he's
good
a
for
white guy.
him.
No, no, I don't think he can play too much either. but it's you can see the community that smiles on the youth's face.
So something I like to say too is, we're here for relationships.
Yeah.
What else are we here for? I don't know what people's faith are. Personally, me, what else is there? We can't take none of this shit to the grave, right? The Egyptians thought so, and look, the stuff's still in the pyramids.
Right.
So we can't take it to the grave. So what else are we here for? Because monetary stuff is nice, but if it's the Bible says, right, the root of all evil is the love of money.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's so funny you said that. Just because of us being here at SHOT Show, and I wanted to make it a priority that I show up for the people that have shown up for me. That we built relationships for. Like, there's business dinners and this and that, but I wanted to make sure I show up for the people that have shown up for me in the past, but I want to prioritize relationships before the business while I was down here. For sure. Because you can get caught up in, take care of your business first. I'm not saying that. But also, taking into consideration that, we have the friendships and brotherhoods down here. So I want to make sure that I make them aware that I'm aware.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's what are we on earth for if not for that?
Yep.
Right? Yeah. There's evil people. Another saying I just came up with after the Israel October 10th or October 7th, after the babies were put in microwaves and heads stepped on and killed. Like, that to me was shocking. Like, I came up with the statement that we live in a civilized world, but not everybody in this world is civilized.
I like that statement. Yeah, you came up with that?
I did.
I'm going to steal that.
Say where you heard it from.
I didn't put my name on it. I'm just kidding. No, it's a great saying. Yeah.
So I would say that have hope, look forward.
Yeah.
I know you, obviously we wouldn't be sitting here. I'm sure you research me, I'm law enforcement. So, anybody out there that has run-ins with law, everybody's not the same. Everybody's doing a job. People get it wrong. Sorries don't cut it sometimes, right? And I'm just glad that nobody got shot. I'm just glad that, that we got to look at the better benefit of that nobody got shot. And now you go to, social media, and we also use your case, your situation to go to the powers that be at the White House and say, the ATF needs to be done.
That's what I was going to say.
Terrorizing families and they're shooting dogs. We got to get rid of them.
Yeah, that's why I don't mind you being law enforcement as long as you're not the ATF. So we're all good.
Yeah,
we're all good here.
So one of the shirts that I created, I think I mentioned it to you. It's copyright infringement to an extent, but until I get a cease and desist, it's going. It's got a Campbell soup can.
Yeah.
It says alphabet soup.
Yeah.
And it's got ATF, FBI. You know how they get ABC on the can?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So instead of can, it says alphabet.
Yeah.
Right. So we gotta whittle back these government agencies. It's got to be the land of the free.
I agree. There's they have no control, no restrictions,
and that's scary. It's absolutely scary.
I'm like, you guys could do all this without doing any due diligence or any real investigation. So
interviews, social media. I mean, even if it was the social media that kind of started directing them to you.
Oh, absolutely. My social media.
But where are you shooting the guns? And are you with Black Rambo? I think he's got an FFL, right, or whoever.
He doesn't, but he's in Louisiana. They're on the gun laws in Louisiana.
Right.
So
exactly.
He does have some pretty exclusive stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's a good story to get out there. I'm sorry it happened to you, but in another sense too, that what doesn't kill us makes us stronger, and it also helps us educate other people so that they're mentally and physically and maybe even emotionally, in some sense, ready for anything. Because once again, it could happen at any time, any place, for any reason or for no reason at all. It could be the government coming after you, or it could be the bad guy. Coming after you. So
it's crazy you say that, because I told my kids that, and it hurt me to say that, because I've never been emotional about that statement until me having to tell my own children, what don't kill you makes you stronger. So
because we protect them. We don't. We've got 4 kids. We've got 10 grandkids.
Yeah,
my wife and I.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's tough to let them go out into society with how bad it is out there.
Yeah, I'm so blessed, because I'm like, my children, they are so phenomenal. They all got something going on for themselves. And in this world, they are still here.
Yeah.
And that says a lot, because you see children dying all the time in inner city, especially Baltimore City. That's where we are. Right. They go to great schools, but they still have to walk home. They still have to get on the bus, public transportation, and I worry about them.
Yeah.
And for this situation to happen, which I've sheltered them their whole life.
It's a shot.
They shouldn't never had to go through this. This is stuff I went through as a child,
Yeah, and at worst, it happened at home.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what my daughter, she said she don't feel safe. And it broke me down pretty good. She doesn't feel at peace in her own home. And we just moved to this house 3 months prior.
Wow.
So we're fresh in the neighborhood, a nice neighborhood. And it's like,
think that has anything to do with it?
Oh,
the neighborhood, new neighbor, look who's moving in.
I don't know. I do know that they had pictures of me bringing in my safe. That was on a part of it.
Is it more of a liberal neighborhood that doesn't like guns? We could speculate all day long.
Yeah,
but it
is.
It'll frustrate you to try to figure out what was the root cause of it.
Yeah.
Some sense you got to kind of just be like, it's in the past. Let's move forward. Get rid of the ATF.
Apparently, there's been an ongoing investigation. There is still an ongoing investigation. I have my lawyer, the legal Qualls, and so she's been, reaching out to them and just seeing what's going on, how we moving forward, and they haven't really said too much, but there's an ongoing investigation that I'm a target of.
And they haven't done any ERPO or red flags, so they haven't said you can't have guns. They haven't done anything like that.
They left all my firearms. I still have my firearms in the safe. So I really believe it was investigation prior, just because of social media, and there was a tip.
Right.
A tip. So I don't,
Seems overkill for for the tip.
Yeah, that's I feel like that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I'm still hurt about it. I'm still.
Talking about it,
Yeah.
being around friends and venting and stuff like that can definitely help. Help the healing of it, but it's
I know.
it'll take a while.
It's funny because this is like the first interview that I'm actually like laughing and smiling.
Cool.
Because it's so time kind of heals. Because I remember when it first happened, and I was talking to people, like I didn't find anything,
Humorous about it.
yeah. But it's I'm I'm decompressing.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I'm glad I could laugh with you and
Yeah.
help you decompress.
Yeah.
What can our viewers and listeners do to help you, support you, get behind you? I mean, I'm imagining attorneys aren't cheap.
Yeah.
What do you have going on that way?
We do
Website,
have
GoFundMe set up.
Yeah, we do have a GoFundMe set up.
Okay.
We've been getting support there.
Good.
Anything helps. Sharing the story, pushing this story and getting raising awareness, and just what to do if it happens. Because I feel like me and my family, we did absolutely everything we were supposed to do in that situation. There's a lot of cowboys out there that, and if I would have reacted any other way, it could have put my family in danger, put my children in a line of fire, and that's not something I would ever sacrifice.
Right. That's good. Yeah, that's smart. Another thing I coined was the pyramid of priorities. And you're at the top of the pyramid: family that you love, friends that you care about, and then strangers you owe nothing to.
Yeah.
And we got to keep ourselves safe so we can still be around for our family, and we'll come to the aid of our family if need be.
Yeah.
So it was good. Sometimes we think by putting ourselves in danger is protecting the family, but that in turn, you take our, if we're out of our family's lives, then our family, we're not there for our family.
We're not there
So-
for our family anymore.
So it's good that it's good that it worked out, for the better, even though it's a bad situation.
And it's just I know how to fight without my hands and without guns as well, and I think that's important.
Absolutely.
So I knew
voice,
after
and physical.
I knew once they did. I said I'm not going to back down from this. I'm going to stand up, and this is me standing up, voicing my opinion, and not being afraid of them coming after me for some more.
Well, you're on the target now, and
for sure.
the last thing that they want to do is admit failure, admit they got it wrong.
Yeah.
Even though they apologize there, it's it's a bit bigger. There's people up above. We can't have this tarnish on our record.
Yeah, absolutely. So we definitely want to be protected. That's why we put the GoFundMe up, because my lawyer said this is federal and this is serious. This is we don't take it lightly.
Right.
My family doesn't take it lightly.
Right.
My lawyer is not taking it lightly. This is a federal case. They have a 98% conviction rate. And she said the case can start from $50,000. So when she said that, we don't have $50,000 just sitting around. That's the minimum. Yeah. So immediately we're like, okay, we need to ask for support. We put up the GoFundMe, and the link is in my bio on my Instagram.
You should get your FFL, get a Type 7 Class 2, start building machine guns and actually selling them legally, and then you can use that money to fight the ATL.
No, I think I'm
Choppa guns.
We thought about it. We actually discussed about opening up a firearm business.
Yeah.
And it was the thought of me having to
it's a lot.
deal with the ATF on
Especially
a daily.
this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, Yeah,
you don't want that.
Yeah,
because they'll be inspecting you every day.
Yeah,
just to get back at you
Just
for
to get
like
back
making
on
them, grovel.
They wanted me to shut up because I told them before they left. I said, you guys are
Picked the wrong house.
Yeah, you picked the wrong house. You guys
Wrong
are
guy.
going on. I said I'm going on. I said I'm going online. They said be careful what you say. That was a conversation.
Yeah. You have security cameras in the house with footage?
Yeah, but they clipped my whole security system. So the only ones they didn't get was the outside cameras because it was like kind of up on the roof.
Yeah.
They would have to climb on top of my roof to. Yep. And so I guess they didn't have a ladder.
They can't distinguish a friendly dog from a faux dog either.
Yeah.
All right. So you send me the GoFundMe link, and we'll put that in there in the notes and stuff, so people can help and support.
Yeah, we are grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. So I think I've been watching you on Instagram and in other places, but Instagram's probably the best place for people to find you.
Yeah, they can find me and they can reach me. I make myself very available. It's Mark Choppa. at MarkChoppa, or you can find me on YouTube, Mark Chopper TV.
Mark Choppa TV. Mark Choppa,
Thank you, bro.
awesome having you.
Awesome being
Cool.
here, man. Thank you so much.
Check out everything he's got going on and help him out, support him.
Thank you, guys.
Hello, my name is Clint Macro, co-founder and administrator of National Train a Teacher Day. National Train a Teacher Day is a grassroots movement of volunteer firearms, safety, first aid, and defense instructors that offer free training to teachers, school staff, administrators, and those that work with youth in a leadership capacity. We do this every year on National Train a Teacher Day. This year marks the 8th annual National Train a Teacher Day, and we'll be observing it on Saturday, June 21st, 2025. That's Saturday, June 21st, 2025. Over the years, hundreds of volunteer instructors have trained thousands of teachers, school staff, administrator, and those that work with youth in a leadership capacity. If you fit that bill, or if you know someone that does, we encourage you to visit or have them visit the website, which is nationaltrainateacherday.com, and connect with a local instructor and take advantage of this fantastic free training opportunity. We'd like to thank our volunteers, our partners, and our sponsors for helping make National Train a Teacher Day a success each year. But most of all, we want to thank you, the teachers, school staff, administrators, and youth leaders who take the time to empower themselves with information to better protect those that they educate, and that is our children. Visit the website, spread the word, and we will see you on National Train a Teacher Day, Saturday, June 21st, 2025. Thanks.
Now the target, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I need short and sweet. You adding too many words, all right? I went to public schools, okay? All right? I'm doing the best I can. All right. But now the target is mine.
You were so close.
I know.
You were so close. Oh, man. Dude, the first part of that was gold. Gold.
I tried. All right, I'm sorry. All right, David, come on, let's roll. Oh. That's so you want me to lighten it up a little bit? All right, I'm lightening it up a little bit. All right.
There's lots of sponsors that make this show possible, like Mantis, Next Level Training, like Henry, like
XS Sites.
Check them out and give them your business.
Meet the Pressers is brought to you by Mantis. Mantis X helps shooters suck less. Next Level Training. Makers of CERT training products. Henry Repeating Arms. Made in America or not made at all. XS Sites. Fast sights in any light. Meet the Pressers is also brought to you by these fine companies, shows, organizations, and our Patreon members. Thank you.
Thanks for watching the show.
make sure you like, subscribe, share, and click that little bell thingy so you know when the next episode's coming out. Support us on Patreon. Come to one of our classes. Host us to come to you and do one of our classes at your location.
And until next time,
Adieu.
Thank you for watching Meet the Pressers.